getting ready for their contender. Bronze medal match in the recurve under-18 women's competition coming right up. We'll go down to the field of play for the athlete introduction.
Number 4, representing Turkey, Sila Ozdemir. On target number 2, representing Spain, Iria. And the lineup for the match is Lilleshall.
So here we go, the first medal match of this final session here at the European Youth Archery Championships. We will see Sila Ozdemir of Turkey taking on the fabulously named Iria de la Fuente. I think we're going to call her Torrethilia here in the commentary box. I'm Karim Bashir, and it's my great pleasure, super Saturday here in the commentary box. Had Ella Gibson this morning, and now we've got the head coach from Israel, Richard Priestman, in the box. Richard, pleasure to have you here. Are you looking forward to this afternoon?
Oh, good afternoon, everybody. Yes, fantastic. Really happy to be here. Had a good week with my team here, and we're not in these recurve finals this afternoon, but really excited to see how they all plan out.
We're about to get straight underway. Bronze medal up for grabs here in the compound under-18 women's division, and it will be the athlete from Turkey starting things off with a 9. Richard, in these early stages, first off, tell us how the scoring works.
Well, you can see the target faces. It's gold, red, blue, black and white. Each ring split into 2, so it's 10 for the inner gold, 9 for the outer gold. That's the rings they want to be in. We don't want to stray too much in the 8 and the 7s as we go out across the target. What's interesting at the beginning here is the first arrow, the practice range is across the other side of the sight in a different direction. So to try and guess the wind right on this first arrow is quite a challenge, and I think they've all gone left, which I think the compounds did this morning as well, so the teams are not learning.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? As I was saying to Ella Gibson, Britain's #1 archer, finishing off with a 9 there to take the set points for Torrethilia of Spain. If you get the better arrows in a set, you get the 2 points, and of course the target score for the win is 6. Yeah, but I was saying to Ella this morning, and you said it straight away, thanks for doing it right at the top of the show, everything going left,
yes.
The wind's coming across the range. Surely if you're the second archer in this first match, you're going to see what the first archer does.
But it's very hard. You see what's going on. It's hard to have that clarity of thought to actually respond, and archers are probably cautious with the sight changes. You know, the sights have a click mechanism, and you're trying to do too many clicks. So, but you know, at this level, you have to take that risk of winning, don't you?
Absolutely, and I asked you this off air, but I'm going to ask you live on air because you came up with a very interesting answer. Obviously, this is an important competition. It's the European Championships for under-18s and under-21s. Is it, though, the breeding ground for, are we going to see the future stars? Are we seeing the LA potential archers right here?
Yes, for sure. I think we've got this lovely breeding ground for the under-18s and the under-21s. They can come here, they can learn to be competitors, they can make the mistakes, they could win. But already some here already in Olympic teams or senior national teams. Some aspire to be there in the future, but you probably find a third to half, I'm pretty sure, will make it into their national teams.
There you go, and that's a man who knows what he's talking about. Former head of the British programme, now looking after the Israeli archers. Second set here, Ozdemir trailing, going left.
Still
again.
Going left. You see, I prefer to be aiming off in these situations. I think a lot of archers tend to be cautious and they're just going click, 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 but it doesn't move the sight very much. But aiming off, you can actually control a bigger distance more accurately. But it's having the confidence to do that. Now, these are good shots, but not in the right place, so they're not getting full value for the good feelings they've got.
Well, good grouping there. That's a good sign, isn't it? That if you've got 2 hours close together, you just need to shift things.
Yeah, it's about grouping. You know, we're trying to shoot 3 good arrows in a group, and then your sight is to centre the group. The sight's not there to alter individual arrows, it's to move your group basically. Archers tend to forget that.
Well, just drifting over to the left for a 7, but you know what? That's enough. And Torothilia has gone 4-0 up, of course, subject to confirmation from the target judge. If you're a budding young archer, trust me, you want to listen to Richard Priestman. He knows what he's talking about. How many countries have you coached in now?
This is my 12th different country I've coached.
You're not old enough, are you?
Yes, unfortunately I am, yeah, which is fantastic because I've been in every kind of culture, every kind of temperature.
Well, right here we're seeing what you were talking about, Richard, the Turkish archer Ozdemir. We'll get a good view of a full draw, but those arrows going off to the left, and
yes,
look at
yes,
all those
and
holes.
it's almost criminal, isn't it, that they all that good effort, it's a good shot, and you just haven't guessed the wind right, because and actually it is a guess almost. It's an experience is a big part of that. As they get more experience as an archer, they'll start to understand what the wind does to their arrows. It not only makes them go up and down, but left and right.
And strange for a Turkish archer to not be used to the wind. You were telling me about their famous Istanbul Archery Centre, which is particularly windy.
Yes, well, they tend to train, well, Turkey is interesting. They have many great programs right across the country. They have, I don't know, 50 or 60 professional coaches in Turkey now. All their groups of archers spread right across the country, and they can shoot outdoors a lot of the winter anyway.
We start the third set here, and Ozdemir, well, she's getting closer into the gold there for just her third 9, and she's going to need all that coaching talent behind her here to come from 4 down.
Yes, so Damla, the coach in the back, she's an Olympic coach, ex-athlete herself, vast experience. Her husband runs the Turkey program.
Something
arrow by arrow, she's creeping over, isn't she?
I was just saying, take the words out of my mouth, she's getting closer and closer.
Well, they're both settling down now, aren't they? You notice there's a time limit for these arrows as well. They only get 20 seconds for each arrow, which when it's windy that becomes more of a stretch. You know, it puts more pressure on the archer because they're aiming longer. They haven't done decisions.
Needed a 10 to level up on points, got a 9, so that is Ozdemir on the scoreboard. She takes the third set, but still trails by 4 set points to 2. Richard, while we've got you here, I mean, it's all well and good to talk about the wind, which is a factor here today, but I wanted to hear about what you think about the form of these archers. I mean, we start with the Spanish archer who's gone 4-0 up.
Well, technically, it's a very nice technique. I know the Spanish programs very well. They have great coaches, and they have they do want to teach the best possible technique. This technique and process first.
Well, they're just having a look at, sorry to interrupt there, they're just having a look at that measure on that first arrow, because obviously that could change things completely. Did you get a feel for whether that could get marked up?
Yes, of course, if it's marked up, yeah, it's hard to tell from this distance, but the coach will get his magnifying glass out to see as close as he can. That looks like it's in to me.
If it just cuts the line.
Yeah. So a judge will look from both sides probably, and they make a considered judgment.
Yeah, I've seen the magnifying glass come out for some of those measures.
Well, that's the suspense while they're waiting to hear.
Looks like it has stayed an 8. It shows you what the TV cameras can do. They can trick you into thinking it's in, but the 8 remains an 8, and that does mean I can't quite see the scoreboard on the field of play, but because the sun has come out, but we think it's 4-2 for Torothilia against Ozdemir.
It's one of the interesting things from a performance and technique-wise. When countries are talent hunting, they are looking for the bigger, stronger girls these days, because they can usually command and shoot heavier draw weight bows as well. So as a it's a dream to try and find somebody who's talented and a bigger stature. It really gives more stability. It's stronger. They can have more of the heavier the more efficient it is.
You talk about draw weight. What exactly, if you're talking to a non-archer, what do you mean by that?
So that's the amount of weight they're holding at full draw. That's not the weight of the bow, it's the pull of the bow. So I don't know what these girls are pulling, but they'll be probably 35, 36, maybe just over 40 pounds, which it's a considerable weight when you think about it. And that's really hard to balance and coordinate and aim and move as part of your technique.
Very interesting stuff, but here we are on the brink of our first medal. De la Fuente, Torrecilla of Spain, needs a 7 for the win, and she's got it just inside the 8, and that is a tremendous performance. She couldn't quite do it in 3 sets, but she's done it in 4 and has taken the bronze against a young, promising athlete from Turkey, Ozdemir, but it's Torrecilla that is going to be on the podium.